What's going on, guys? Christian here from CK Wraps. So today I have a car that I wrapped back in my shop. This was done 4 years ago, and it was done in Avery Gloss Pearl White. Customer overall super happy, but we're gonna go over why it was back in the shop and also the condition of the actual wrap itself. If you guys are looking for more in-depth how to vinyl wrap videos, check out my website, ckwraps.com. The link's in the top corner and the description below. As always, giving away the first month free for new subscribers. There's an open forum discussion board where you can ask me questions. I go on every day to answer them for you guys. And if you're looking for something a bit more easygoing, I do have the members only access area for the YouTube channel. So if you're already on YouTube, kind of makes it easy just to kind of go through YouTube and do it that way as well. It's not the same with the open forum, but you can join the private Discord group with the private link. That's also in the description below. Now, the reason why this vehicle is here is because I'm actually rewrapping it in, of course, cosmetic paint protection film. I'm going to be rewrapping it in Vivid Color Fusion Gloss Demon Black, super popular color. It's like that reddish black color. We're gonna get real up close and have a look at the condition of this wrap. For 4 years old, we are in Canada, more specifically, Ottawa, Ontario. So winter is definitely predominant here. We do have 4 seasons. We have spring, fall. Those are pretty short. A lot of the year it's winter or summer. So that's honestly not the major cause of deterioration or wear and tear, generally speaking, when it comes to a wrap. Now, with this vehicle being wrapped or will be being wrapped in paint protection film, it's going to last and look so much better for much longer. So let's bring the camera in and see the condition of the wrap. There's some areas that I definitely want to point out, and there's a couple of things that the customer actually went and did on their own, and they actually did a pretty good job of it. And perhaps, I'll leave it open to Danik to leave a comment if he would like to, but he did rewrap the bumper just because there were stone chips. Again, this is Avery, so it's not the most durable film, definitely, sorry, it's not clean, so you're gonna see some dirt on it because we're just gonna pull the wrap off. So you can see a lot of texture, as far as clarity of the gloss goes. I believe the hood was rewrapped by them, or by him and his friend, or just maybe by himself. And then the front bumper was as well. So he did actually a pretty good job on the front bumper. Perhaps he watched one of my videos. I'm not sure, I didn't ask him. But we'll leave that open to if he wants to comment or not. Now, small bubble, or maybe that was even just a stone chip down there. But otherwise, pretty decent job on doing the front bumper. Can't complain about it, actually. Like, it did a really good job on it. So that was redone because there were a lot of stone chipping. We're gonna get into the actual wear and tear of like the weathering part of the wrap. Again, you can see down the side of the car, the gloss finish is, mediocre at best. And you can see, if you look at the light glaring, you can actually see the air egress pattern. Hopefully that shows up. I can definitely see it in person. You can see all that little honeycomb all the way through this beam of light. Same thing there. I can see it very, very clearly. So that does take away from the overall appearance. Again, this was sort of what was best on the market. I mean, not best, but good on the market at the time. There's much better quality products out there now. Mirror was done in one piece, so it's possible with Avery. It's not impossible. So with most films, with most films, you might not be able to do this with, but because this didn't lose color or discolor by stretching it, through this area, kind of around this way, it's holding up really well. It's all good, all on the inside. Everything is super nice. This is 4 years old, okay? Let's get into some of the weathering, okay? Up here, this is actually a super common area to have weathering. Now, what you're gonna notice here, and actually so his friend is another customer of mine, but from back in Toronto, they actually work together, and he just removed his Avery Satin Pearl White, or it could have been Gloss Pearl White. It was an Avery wrap as well, and it had this on it, and he removed it himself, but to a much greater extent. Now, this is basically when you want to remove the wrap, okay? Like, when you start seeing this, it looks like rust, okay? It's not rust. We're gonna remove the wrap, and it's not rusty under there. You might hear some noise they're doing to the roof here. Man, it's caused so much of a mess. Okay, so the top side is really a huge pain right now. Like, this is where the material's more broken down. So it's leaving a bit more adhesive. Okay, not terrible there. I got a good pull. So again, it's just doing a few inches at a time, really. This is my life right now. Honestly, I don't know why the bumper is doing it, because the bumper shouldn't have any adhesive. It's mostly vertical. While, see, like when you heat it too hot, it just tears. Like it's really tough to find a balance here. It's the film simply deteriorating, and it's going to progressively get worse and worse and worse. And this is happening. What do you think the reason is? Well, what way is it facing? It is facing upwards towards the sun. Again, the hood was redone, while this was not redone. This is original from when I wrapped it 4 years ago. So we definitely want to remove this before it gets worse, okay? Because it's going to get much worse than that. This didn't start with all of this right away, okay? This started with, you know, a little speck there and a little speck there and a couple of specks here and there, but it was never this bad. Now, is this going to cause me a problem? Maybe it might leave a little bit of adhesive behind, but as you can see, it's pretty much all the way through on the very top. We're going to notice what's happening anywhere else. Okay, yeah, here we go. We're on the hatch. Okay, so top of the hatch. Again, this is facing the sun majority of the day. And I have a new spoiler to put on here, so ignore that. So that's just delaminating, whatever, and that's not even wrapped. That's carbon fiber. Okay, so that's the gloss clear, whatever they put over top of it afterwards. But again, you can see it happening directly on top of the hatch, the rear hatch. Rear hatch was done in one piece. I will have to do it in two pieces in this situation, most likely, to preserve the finish and the pigmentation of the film, simply because it is colored PPF. But otherwise, you know, what you're seeing here is like these orangey rust spots. That's the deterioration, and it goes all the way up this side. Perhaps a little bit worse over here than the other side. You know, perhaps this was sitting on that angle facing the sun most of the time, while that side was on the other side wasn't as much. Again, same thing coming across the top here. So this is a big time indicator to remove the wrap. Now, I don't think I've ever seen this with PPF. I suppose it could happen. Can't say never, but I've never seen it with PPF. Otherwise, let's go over just the rest of the condition of the wrap. Again, it's dirty, whatever, but you know, as you probably saw, corners and things like that holding up really great. You know, all in the door handle area holding up great. Behind the light, I thought there was some twisting somewhere. There is a little bit like here. So here, you probably noticed it. There's some material being sort of pushed out due to vibration. This can happen like with any car. It doesn't matter if it's a Tesla or whatever. Just when the trim is really tight to the panel, they vibrate at different rates, and that can cause the material to twist. How do you avoid that? Well, you try and cut it as close as possible without tucking in too far, but at the same time, you want to get coverage of the paint that's underneath it. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword where you're trying to get as much color covered of the paint, but at the same time, if you tuck too far in the really tight areas, it can cause twisting. Overall, I don't really see much here, a little bit here. So as you can see here, the fender is sort of overlapping the bumper, okay? So that's causing, you know, this to push super, super tight. I don't think that was actually like that. I think he might have taken the bumper off and put it back on. So again, I don't remember. This is 4 years ago, and it may not be sitting perfectly. And there was one small spot right here. Probably noticed that also. Small spot there. And oh yeah, and back here is probably the worst of it actually. So again, this is just pure twisting, okay? And that happens. So, I mean, condition-wise, 4 years old, 4 seasons, it's doing well. This would not have lasted nearly as long if we had just summer or high UV environment. So if we had a high UV environment where, you know, let's say we're in southern states like Texas, Florida, even California, you know, where UV is predominant most of the year round, Arizona, like Phoenix, for example, yeah, it would have deteriorated much faster. And any professional who wraps cars in those areas will know that as well. Some areas, even like Phoenix, don't even really get a warranty from the brands because the UV is so intense most of the year and super intense in the summer times that the wrap just can't hold up. So the wrap that's used on this vehicle here is cast material. We're stepping it up to TPU, so thermoplastic polyurethane, paint protection film. It's going to last substantially longer and look way better, not just to mention over time, but right off the bat, the gloss is going to have that glass mirror-like finish with color, and you're gonna see so much more detail in the reflection. It's gonna look just like a paint job with the benefit of having clear or colored paint or just paint protection film on it. Benefit of clear paint protection film, but with color, right? So again, most people don't realize that they can now choose a color, and there's lots to choose from on the market, where you can actually wrap your vehicle in this and have it fully covered by insurance. So that's one thing, because you're protecting the paint, not just cosmetically changing the exterior color of the vehicle. If you change just the exterior color of the vehicle with a vinyl wrap, generally speaking, if you were in a collision or something like that, an insurance company wouldn't insure it unless you had claimed that through your insurance policy, like let them know, notified them that the vehicle was wrapped for cosmetic purposes, whatever. But now the fact that we're able to do this with paint protection film, you're actually taking a step ahead and trying to protect the paint. So, you know, someone walks by with a bag, or a shopping cart comes by, and that can scratch the side of the car or, you know, hit it. And you don't have to put that through insurance anymore, because you just peel off the PPF and boom, you're back to normal, rewrap the door, whatever happens, and for the most part, you'll be okay. It is not obviously bulletproof to impact. You know, something hits it hard enough, it's definitely going to cause some damage. So keep that in mind, because, you know, if I throw a rock at this car, yeah, it's gonna cause damage. Doesn't matter how thick the material is, it will leave an indentation in a panel or wherever it might hit. So it is a lot more, PPF is a lot more elastic, so it maintains better elasticity, much better elasticity actually, at cooler temperatures. If anyone knows what, like, sort of like winter tire compounds, I kind of reference this when I teach this type of material, is that, you know, winter tire compound remains softer in cooler temperatures, get better traction out of that. You know, while summer tires and so forth remain a little harder, because they want higher temperatures to then soften, because they know it's going to be higher temperatures, and that's going to soften the material, and then you'll get better traction on the road, so forth. So similar to this, you know, with cast material, the lowest you could probably go before the material starts to become fragile, or even polymeric, is somewhere like between the 15 Celsius and 18 degrees Celsius range. So I'm going to say like 60 to 65-ish Fahrenheit, somewhere around there, where the material will then become fragile, while TPU or /PPF will be much more elastic, even at temperatures cooler than that. Yeah, of course, when it's like freezing frigid cold, like negative 20, 30, even in Fahrenheit or Celsius, doesn't matter, super cold. Yes, things become more fragile. Everything becomes more fragile. The metal does, the plastic does, every part of the car becomes more fragile when it is that cold. But otherwise, it'll maintain better elasticity. Again, I hope you guys enjoy this. I'm gonna do some videos of installation, because I want you guys to see how this goes down. I will probably throw a clip in there, or I will throw a clip in there of what that looks like across the top. You might have seen it already, because I probably included it in the video. And that's pretty much it, guys. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Again, thank you for watching as always. I appreciate it. Take care.